want my address I sleep at, or do you want my address I come to 2 or 3 times a week? Because that would be this
Either
address.
one's fine.
Okay, 3616 Northwood Drive. Before I start, I added up the total hours that myself and other women have been working. It's over 300 hours this summer that I've spent digging in a budget that I do not get paid to do. I do not have a CPA or budgeting background, but I managed to understand a budget with the help of a very special young lady that I have to thank, April Beckham. She has spent countless hours. She does not live here. She does not have a financial stake in this. She's a concerned citizen. Her family still lives here. So first and foremost, we will all want to thank her very much. This morning, I made a presentation. Some of you were there, some of you were not. All of you have been very well aware of my concerns with the issue. Questions have been out to Mr. Collins, Mr. Robinson, some of you all, for anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. The answers to our questions are oops, or I don't know, I'll get back to you. I find it very concerning that the gentleman that writes the budget and the people that propose the budget, meaning the administration, don't know what they're writing. I'm going to recap what I presented this morning for those of you who did not hear it. The resolution related to premium increases, spousal carve-out, and smoker surcharges passed on 6/17 contained the following. The premiums for basic and premier PPO plans have not been increased since FY11, and for the past few years the health care fund balance has been negative due to plan revenues not being increased to match plan expense. Here's a little history about the health care and OPEB fund.
Triplet, if you have an extra copy, we can put it on the screen if you'd like.
Actually, y'all have one. It was there.
I know, but it's upstairs.
Do you want me to go get it?
I'm just saying, if you have an extra copy, we can put it on the screen.
I have my copy. There were handouts this morning if anybody has theirs.
I was just trying to help you.
FY10, the beginning balance for the health fund was a positive $1.635 million. A $10.121 million transfer out resulted in a negative fund balance of $6.4 million at year end. FY11 and FY12, the negative fund balance of $6.4 million was reduced to $510,000. Resolution passed, and FY13, the health care fund ended the year with a negative fund balance of $2.685 million. Our concerns and findings: FY13, $22 million in employer-paid retiree health care was not included in the budget, which was originally planned to be covered by OPEB Trust. Only $6 million of OPEB Trust, originally funded by the health care fund, was used and not paid back. Healthcare fund ended with a net deficit of $2.685 million. Inconsistent FY13 actuals make it difficult to interpret the fund's activities for that fiscal year. FY15 proposed budget, FY15 adopted budget, FY15 HR budget presentations, and 2013 CAFR all contain different FY13 actuals as it pertains to the healthcare fund. Resolution passed. The administration forecasted a deficit of $11.5 million for the FY14 budget. However, Council approved additional funding of only $4.2 million. Our concerns and findings: FY14 adopted budget excerpt. The health care fund is budgeting revenues of $125.1 and expenses of $127 million for FY14. This will produce a deficit for FY 2014 of $1.9 million. However, the general fund will transfer $4.0 million to the health fund, which will eliminate the deficit. FY 15 adopted budget showed FY 14 forecasted revenue to be higher than the plan, and claims expense forecasted was less than planned, resulting in a net positive fund balance for FY 14. Significant FY 14 forecast variances when comparing FY 15 proposed budget, FY 15 adopted budget, FY 15 HR budget presentations. Internal service fund concerns. Fund balance for FY11 actuals, both beginning of the year and end of the year. An internal service summary within FY13 adopted budget shows a positive balance when it should be a negative. Shows a positive balance when it should be a negative. Just wanted to make sure everybody's paying attention and listening. The internal service funds combining statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund net assets within the CAFR FY10 to FY13 contains significant variances when compared to the internal service summary within adopted budget. Starting FY13, death benefits of $522,000 paid out of healthcare funds, as well as $22,000 in capital outlay. Significant formula errors. FY14 forecast for fleet management, FY15 adopted budget, shows a $7.4 million loss that should have been a $7.4 million gain. FY13 adopted budget for healthcare shows a $3.5 million loss that should be a $3.5 million gain. We move on to retirement healthcare cuts. And this was an excerpt taken from the FY15 adopted budget. The city will continue to pay for the retiree health care costs for persons that are not eligible for Medicare, and the city will identify ways to ease this transition of all impacted employees and retirees. There is no distinction between pre- and post-retirees. Simply put, all retirees would be eligible to continue to receive the city subsidy. This is one of the many inaccuracies within the budget. Council rationale for cuts. Healthcare ARC, when combined with pension ARC, creates a $100 million expense. We received an email from the state treasurer that states the following: no statute or rule that requires immediate payment of OPEB unfunded liability. Multiple jurisdictions only use a pay-as-you-go policy. By creating and investing in an OPEB trust, which was created in 2009, the City of Memphis represents prudent financial practice as it pertains to OPEB. City rationale for cuts. Healthcare ARC, when combined with pension ARC, creates a $100 million expense. What is the true expense of the healthcare unfunded liability? Only one actuary estimate obtained from the healthcare unfunded liability. The actuary used to provide the healthcare unfunded liability misstated the pension unfunded liability by $200 million. Council rationale for cuts. By recutting retiree benefits, we can repurpose those dollars to fund the pension ARC. Proposed FY15 budget reflected a $27 million savings, with only $15 million going to the pension ARC. What happened to the additional $12 million in savings? $12 million decrease in property tax revenues going to the general fund as a result of the property tax reapportionment to debt service. Adopted budget reflects a $23 million savings, with $15 million going to the pension ARC. What happened to the additional $8 million in savings? $8 million decrease in property tax revenue going to the general fund as a result of the property tax reapportionment to debt service. Higher overall property tax revenue and adopted budget, as well as a small decrease in the amount of property tax reapportionment to debt service. This city has a debt crisis, not a healthcare crisis. Over the past 2 fiscal years, property tax revenue has been reapportioned from general fund to debt service fund. No slowing down on new debt. FY15 proposed budget exceeded the policy for general obligation bonds issuance by approximately $20 million. Some additional concerns. Police Division. The FY15 proposed budget for Police Division was based on a new mission that has not been defined. However, the purpose is no longer to offer a full-service police department in Memphis for FY15. Mr. The FY15 proposed budget for the Police Division is based on a new mission that has not yet been defined.